Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague of Whip 'em Like Always is a man who is releasing later this year, Noah Bailey. So the first 20 or so minutes, if we're lucky, of this is going to be me gushing about Pokemon. If at any
I
point
figured.
you feel like I'm steamrolling you or you want to just interject, just stop me.
Just let it out. Just let it out. I'm sure I knew this was coming, so go ahead. I was like, oh, he's gonna love this.
So yeah, Sunday morning, the Pokemon Company had their yearly Pokemon Day event they do every February 27th. And going into this year, I wasn't really expecting much. I was thinking like, oh, there's just me there, obligatory celebration. There's mobile stuff. There's two games already out that came recently, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl and Legends Arceus. I assumed those with some kind of DLC or updates or something. I was fully expecting like a roadmap for kind of like they did with Sword and Shield, where they had like a roadmap of two big DLCs coming out later in the year, and that was essentially be this year's Pokemon thing. And there was announcements for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl and Legends Arceus, which are like smaller updates on top of Pokemon Go and Masters, and I think one other thing too. But then with 3 minutes left of the presentation, they're like, and here we have one more thing to announce. Here we go. And they did it. The Maniacs did it. They announced
it again.
Generation 9 Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Like I saw that, I was like, huh? Like my friend sent it to me, and I thought it was like a meme or like one of those like jokes or whatever. And I was like, wait, because at first, like I was watching the show, I was like, what am I looking at? I don't even know what this is. And like a minute in, I'm like, oh snap!
Because it started with this like weird live action
like night guard thing.
Yeah, which my initial thought was like, is this like a trailer for Detective Pikachu 2?
Yeah.
Movie? But no, I still don't really understand what that, maybe like that sequence make more sense when the game comes out.
And like that's what I'm saying, like it did not wrap up at all. I don't know if it was just to throw you off more, but it worked.
I don't know. Yeah, but like that live action sequence like transitioned into what looked to be like a big sprawling open world Pokemon game. There were no new creatures in the trailer thus far. Well, there was a bunch of Gen 4 and some Gen 5 and Gen 1. It's like there's like a bunch of like random Pokemon kind of throughout. I was like, what is this some kind of like big Legend Arceus expansion? Is it like a sequel to a game in that series, not like necessarily set in any region? Is it just like its own thing? But no, it was Scarlet and Violet. And they also showed the 3 new starters of this game. I might butcher these, they're so new.
I don't know the name.
Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley.
Yeah, wow, that sounds so made up. What is it, Quaxley?
Quaxley.
Oh,
Quaxley. Quaxley.
Come on. That one sounds made up, but oh well.
One's a grass cat, one's a fire crocodile thing, one's a duck.
One's a duck. No, it's so funny.
It's a duck with a cool hat.
Yeah, no, everyone's been doing the like Donald Kingdom Hearts meme, and I'm seeing that. I'm just like,
yeah.
Just everywhere on Reddit, it's just like you see that like this looks like a good spot to find some ingredients. It's just like I can't unsee it now.
Like side tangent, I'm sure I would like the mechanics and overall story of Kingdom Hearts, but Why? Why does he say that?
I don't like. I don't. They were trying to add another element to make it like, I guess, more open world. Like it. It didn't work. Because like, unless you're playing on like the hardest difficulty, food is absolutely unnecessary.
Mhm.
And also, he says that every time you pass any, either him or Goofy or sort of like somebody mentions it anytime you pass a group, which is literally everywhere in every single world. So it's
Mhm.
constantly somebody is talking about food. You're just like, bro, shut up. We
Yes.
know. I don't care. Like, I don't know. It's a lot. They added a lot of features in the third game that just they weren't bad. It just seemed kind of unnecessary. But
Mhm.
but it is
Hopefully,
the
if you
meme.
pick wisely, he's not going to be, shouting at you every 5 seconds to pick stuff up. um, but yeah, it is the first truly open world Pokemon game.
Yes.
Clearly, Game Freak has been building up to this for the last several generations. Sword and Shield had the entire wild area where they were like experimenting with the 3D camera and just the open-ended, like little world there. And then Legends Arceus was a logical next step of that, where it's not truly open world, but there are like several large sandboxes that you can traverse. And now they specifically said, explore the land, sea, and the air without and catch Pokemon throughout without any loading screens. So very much so like Breath of the Wild, where like you leave a town, there's no, there's no cutscene or anything. You're just leave and
moving
go.
on.
Yeah, which I don't have any doubt in this, but I really, really hope that Game Freak makes just the traversal itself as fun as possible. Which the reason I have no doubt in that is because just moving around in Legends Arceus is so much fun. Like once you get all the different rideable Pokemon, because like the first like little bit of it you're just on foot, which is fine, but then you get Whirldeer, which is like a the evolved form of Stantler, which you can ride on. It's like a horse. And then you later get a Pokemon that can let you ride water and then fly and then climb mountains, and just traversing like from one side of the area to the next using those four kind of like in conjunction just feels super fun. So I'm hoping they have a lot of unique fun ways just to move around. Yeah.
Awesome. Just like, yeah, and just like enjoy that as much as actually playing the game. You know what I mean? Just like when the downtime of the game is as fun as like actually playing, that's how you know you've made a masterpiece. So
yeah, like something like Breath of the Wild wouldn't be half as fun if just moving around wasn't enjoyable. Because like
right.
you do run around, but you have stamina, but you can also soar some. You have horses you can ride. Like if you didn't have all those different possibilities, it wouldn't be nearly as fun. But because we're there, pretty fun. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, so when Sword and Shield were coming out, the Pokemon Company famously provided almost no information about the game at all leading up to release. Like they showed like maybe 10 or so new Pokemon, and that was it. They didn't show the new star evolutions. They only showed one or two gym leaders. Like they didn't like they did only showed a couple of new regional variants, even though there were many more than were actually in the game. Like, and was weird because with Sun and Moon, the previous generation, they showed almost the entire Pokedex before it came out. They showed you the evil team. They basically gave you the entire plot. Like it was not that it made the game worse, but like a lot of the surprise and just mystique of the game was taken out.
Yeah, you kind of knew what to expect going in the whole way.
Yeah, but going into Sword and Shield, I knew almost nothing. I was able to I was able to build my team basically from the ground up, knowing, like, not knowing what it would even like evolve into. I didn't know what my starter would evolve into. I found this this cool new like baby poison lizard thing that evolved into one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I like wasn't expecting that to happen. And just that was just a lot of fun. I don't necessarily need them to do that again. I like I think there is a middle ground where they can show a decent amount of new things and new features and stuff, but still keep a large majority of the Pokedex and just stuff out of the game a secret. There's a balance there. They can definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But still, yeah. But I like if I had to choose, I'd rather them like keep everything secret than just spoil everything, you know?
But at the same time, that type of thing can kind of backfire. Like with Pokemon Legends Arceus, that almost backfired because they didn't show hardly anything. Like every single trailer just showed like the same three shots over and over again. So people were kind of convinced there's nothing new about this game. There's nothing like yes, it is the first like kind of open world Pokemon game, but there's nothing really like outside of like the new catching mechanics. There's nothing really driving you towards this game. But then word of mouth spread so fast about it being actually really fun, which the trailers didn't really show. Like there actually are some really cool new Pokemon and new regional variants, just awesome new characters that you can just fall in love with, and just there has to be some kind of middle ground between not showing the best parts of your game and showing everything about your game.
Yeah, it's like showing just enough that everyone who is, needs to know, show them enough that this is going to be good, but not so much that you know exactly why it's going to be good.
Yes. Yeah, I still can't believe it's actually happening this year. Like I said, I was fully expecting Legends Arceus DLC to carry them throughout this year, but I guess with the Switch successor, like probably closer than we might think, and probably 2024 at the May 2024 at the earliest, probably March 2024 at the earliest. It probably for the best they go ahead and start this generation now, so that way they can get 2 good years of this generation, then hop onto the next system when that comes out. So yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty great, Pokemon just appears. A wild generation appears, like it's there out of nowhere. You're right.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything really more to come out of Scarlet and Violet until probably like April at the earliest, but probably not even until E3. But that's fine. I have plenty of other stuff to play and just deal with until then. So I have Kirby next month. This month. It's March now.
Yep,
this month,
March
Kirby
now.
this month. Yeah. So that's great. Speaking of things to keep me entertained, you like anime?
Always, of course.
Yep. That was a question. That was a statement. You like anime? So a couple of months back, Sony, who had already purchased Crunchyroll like 2020, I think, announced that they were officially buying Funimation as well. And after that, everyone just like assumed, at some point, Crunchyroll and Funimation, their streaming services are going to fuse, because that just kind of makes sense. If Sony owns both, they're not going to
fight each other.
Why would they do that? Yeah. And today it was announced that yes, all the anime exclusive to Funimation will be moving to Crunchyroll.
Nice.
Which
means
yes.
Wait, so does that mean Funimation's not going to have streaming anymore?
I think essentially yes. And essentially, I don't know how it'll be like if you already have a Funimation account, like will you be grandfathered into Crunchyroll, or will you get a discount or something? But
that's kind of what I think, because like me and my brother have Funimation, so I was like, wait, is that bad?
Maybe.
Did we pick the wrong one?
I'm sure you'll get an email or some kind of like confirmation about, or like some kind of media blitz about it all moving to Crunchyroll and how to, how to transfer stuff or whatever. But regardless, I feel this is only good for anime fans. Like, there were some shows that were only on Funimation, some that are only on Crunchyroll, some that were on neither, that like I think they'll have leverage to get on it now. Me and my brother have Crunchyroll, so it doesn't affect us at all. The prices might increase, but overall I think
probably a little bit, but at the same time it's worth it. There's so much stuff on there, like
yes,
you get your money's worth.
I think Dragon Ball wasn't even on Crunchyroll. I think it was only Funimation.
So yeah, because I think Funimation had like all of like Dragon Ball, Z, GT, Super, like everything. So yeah, that'll just
Yep.
Hey, that's great though. Yeah, again, I think keeping it together is the best thing for it, because you just you're not competing with yourselves. Or just anime in general. We can just be collective.
Yeah. It was also pretty funny that like I think it was 2 weeks ago, Crunchyroll just like randomly appeared on the Switch eShop. Like you can watch Crunchyroll on, which is only like the third major streaming service. I think there's Hulu. I think Funimation is also on there, and now Crunchyroll. So like Netflix.
They have Netflix?
No Netflix, no Amazon Prime Video. Hulu
no
is
Netflix.
Not even Showtime. Not even Showtime.
Not Showtime.
Watch me like turn on my Switch just to make sure it actually is there.
It's like, what? Showtime's here.
Comes with everything.
Showtime's hilarious. It's like, yeah, you get Hulu's Spotify Premium and Showtime. Can I just give no, you have to take all three. Can I just take the two and then just give Showtime back? Can I just not activate? No, you need to have all three. Like, okay, fine, I'll take it, but I won't like it. And then years later, I'm like, oh, this movie I want to watch, it's on Showtime.
It's one movie. I'm never gonna touch it again, but it's good to know that Wolf of Wall Street's on there.
Wolf of Wall Street is on Showtime. That is the only time I've ever used Showtime. It probably will be the only time ever. But it came through because I thought I was going to buy it.
To watch Terminator 2, and that was it.
There it is. I don't know. Yep. What is this? I'm going to go back through it. They might actually have something on there. Oh, I have to give it a chance.
Yeah. You've gone this far without really.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've lived a very happy life without it. Why would I change anything? If anything, it'd be dangerous to start using Showtime.
Exactly.
You'd risk losing it all.
So yeah, hopefully for your sake, if you have Funimation, you'll get some kind of transfer credit or grandfathered in or something.
Hopefully, yeah. I hope they would just throw us in and just be like, all right, that's how much you have to pay now, but you have an account, but we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see what Disney is up to now. We've talked before about how Keanu Reeves needs to be in the MCU at some point, preferably as Ghost Rider or Silver Surfer or just someone cool like that.
Yes.
Apparently, it's been confirmed that Kevin Feige has had meetings with Keanu Reeves.
Boom. All right. It's happening.
It could be nothing. They could have just, bumped into each other at a coffee shop and just, just had a conversation. Marvel never came up. That didn't happen, but it's possible.
No, like that's no way that's possible, but all right.
But yeah, like
yes.
The fact that Keanu Reeves himself said that he's talked to Kevin Feige, or at least confirmed that meetings have happened, like within 3 years, he's going to be in a Marvel movie.
Right. Like, I just thought about this. Do you think Keanu could make Wolverine work, or is that too?
I think he's too old.
Maybe, but like,
how tall is Keanu Reeves? He's not a short guy.
I don't think he's a short guy, but no, yeah, neither was Hugh Jackman.
Oh, Hugh Jackman's too tall.
That's what I'm saying. He made it work.
Keanu Reeves is 6'1". That's
Pretty sure, I
I
think Hugh
think,
Jackman's 6'2", so
yeah, I think going forward, Wolverine like kind of needs to be
shorter.
short.
I mean, does it really matter?
We, I
Like,
think
it's not like it's Yoda. Like, I feel like,
so. Outside of superheroes that are portrayed by literal teenagers, there really aren't any that are like intentionally short. At least none that are like marketable. Whereas
yeah,
Wolverine is like one of the main, big names that is like intentionally a shorter guy.
yeah.
So
But like, I don't think anyone's gonna like. I don't know. I feel like if it's good, people aren't really gonna care. You know what I
true.
mean?
Yes, like Hugh Jackman killed it. Like I can't
Right?
really see anyone else doing as good of a job as him. However, if like especially considering Marvel after WandaVision is like leaning heavily into like comic accurate, and like
Mhm.
that's like the main thing they're seems to going for this in this phase. Like if they want the X-Men in there, I feel they need to be in some, not necessarily the yellow spandex, but something reminiscent of of the like traditional X-Men
Mhm.
outfits. Even something similar, or even like the exact same costumes that they had at the end of uh, X-Men Apocalypse. The only good scene of that movie, the very end of the movie, where they had those cool like black suits with like some of them had red or blue or yellow like
Mhm.
symbols on them that just looked updated but still very X-Men, very cool.
Right.
They just use those. That's cool.
Good. This is always cool.
Yeah, and yeah, have Wolverine, you know, be short could be cool. Yeah, I think if Keanu Reeves were tall enough, I think I think he might be a little too old for the what especially
Yeah.
since I think the mutants will be like kind of a major driving factor for the next couple of phases.
Right.
70 by the time we get to like by the end of it, just I don't know about that.
Yeah, probably was. I don't know. It was just a fact. I was thinking about like some of the he gets angry and like John Wick, and I'm like, I guess like also that's just me just thinking Keanu can do no wrong. So
Yeah, I think Johnny Blaze is like ideal for him.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Moving on, it's been confirmed that the Defenders, Jessica Jones, Luke
Mhm.
Cage, all that, will be coming to Disney Plus on March 16th.
Woo!
Worldwide. Because last
I
week it was just Canada.
forgot about that. That's right. You're like, oh great, yeah. In Canada. What?
They
Why
went and confirmed
Canada
worldwide too.
specifically? Why only Canada? It's like Canada's like, woo, everyone else is like, what the heck? So everywhere, not just Canada.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that and Agents of Shield are also coming on the same day,
Ooh,
March 15th.
Agents of Shield. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and along with these shows coming Disney Plus, they'll also be rolling out uh, parental controls that parents can use to limit what kids watch on this, because this is really going to be the first ever like mature content coming to Disney Plus. So until now, everything that was under Disney that was more mature has gone to Hulu. But now stuff like Deadpool and Logan and other like Disney owned things that might not be good for the kiddos could still be on Disney Plus.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Is Deadpool on Disney Plus or is it
it's on
coming?
Hulu.
Okay, it's on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess if you got to keep your stuff together, you got to make sure to separate the kids. They're like, huh, this doesn't look like Encanto, and then you see
yeah,
Deadpool like rip someone's head off.
because the first episode of Luke Cage has a sex scene in it. So like if you're
Yep.
like maybe kids shouldn't
Probably don't
just
want to see
be flipping
that.
through and just watch
Watch
that.
Jessica Jones expose them to alcoholism, and they're probably not a great
Yeah,
influence.
yeah. Uh, so like that's that's good. Like because that was like my main fear about those shows. Leaving Netflix, I was afraid they weren't going anywhere, but also I was afraid they weren't going to go to Disney Plus because Disney Plus until now has been very sanitized, but now they're allowing other stuff on there, which is nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And now they have no excuse to not make Daredevil season 4.
Nope. I mean, especially when it's like, it's not like Charlie Cox is not doing it anymore. We just saw, I mean, granted, he wasn't in the suit, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's a very good lawyer.
Right? Make him the show. And it can be a Disney Plus original now.
Actually wouldn't be the first time Disney has taken a Netflix produced at least season of a show from Netflix and put it on Disney Plus and added another season, because season 6 of Clone Wars was actually produced by Netflix.
Right. That's
and
right.
They brought it over to Disney Plus and made season 7.
Yeah, because that was the Lost Missions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, we're gonna snag that, and then boom, Clone Wars stayed. I feel like I know. Okay, so I know Clone Wars ended, but I feel like we could still keep going, or at least there's like parts we could have still. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because the Sons of Dathomir. That would no the there's like one there's one
like Dark
season
Disciple.
that
There's a
gets
couple
closer
of
to
them.
Ventress. There's one season on Utapau, or one arc on Utapau that involves Boba and Cad Bane having their duel. At least I think there's like one other like at least like storyboarded arc that they could bring
there
back.
was one like I forgot what planet it was. I was a couple of places, but yeah, they have a couple of episodes, and also just like I don't know why not. Like I know they're still doing Bad Batch, which is basically Clone Wars continued, but like it's not the same.
Yeah. I mean, they always could. They're Disney. They could do whatever the heck they want.
Oh yeah.
I know they very proudly and prominently called season 7 the final season, but if it's just anthology stuff, like it doesn't.
Yeah, just I mean, it's okay. Like you can just put a pin in it and be like, oh, this happened before then. Boom, problem solved. Like, or just redo the prequels while you're at it. Just
yeah. Okay. Last bit of Disney news I have. Indiana Jones 5 has officially wrapped filming. So that movie
we're really doing this, huh? Wait, really?
Yes.
Harrison Ford and all?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
We did this. Why are we doing this again?
Because Disney owns it, so they got to do something with the property.
I mean, honestly, okay. Question: would you, if they recasted like Oscar Isaac or somebody to do Indiana Jones, would you be down for that?
Sure.
Do it again, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not again. Like I love Harrison Ford, and again, Indiana Jones is classic, but also I don't want to see senior citizen Harrison Ford like Indiana Jones anymore. You know what I mean?
I think they're gonna pull a No Time to Die, ironically, and actually like kill him off this time and have like the successor like in the movie, and like be like the eventuals will continue with this guy, but now like Indiana himself is dead, and then he'll take up the mantle going forward, I guess.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I feel like every single series is doing this. Like this, all right, let's our one last ride, like everything is doing this now. And it's like, guys, like we don't have to do it like this. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but then again, who knows? But also Oscar Isaac's busy doing everything else. So.
Everything. He's in Dune. He's in Moon Knight. He's in Spider-Man across the multiverse.
Yeah. Across the Spider-Verse. Forgot he's Spider-Man 2099. A bunch of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting. A new Indiana Jones, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just like the classics better, and no one just kind of like, ooh. So
I've never actually watched like all of any Indiana Jones movie. I've seen like clips of them. I've never seen like all of one, but they seem fine. I would watch. I just haven't got around to it.
They're good. Like some parts of it you're like, oh wow, that's really over the top, or that's really, but like overall they're very good watches.
Okay. Like, I hope this movie is good because the fourth one apparently is terrible. So
Yeah, we don't talk about that one, which is kind of why I was hoping this wasn't gonna happen.
Maybe Shia LaBeouf won't be in this one, and then we can just ignore the movie ever happened. Yeah. But like, it is genuinely shocking that Disney has had the rights to Indiana Jones since 2013, and there's been no animated thing. There's been no like full-on reboot. They've been trying to make this movie happen since then. It just
hasn't happened.
It's going to come out 10 years after they had the ability to make it. It's finally coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have it, you might as well use it. Just don't disgrace it in the process, I guess.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Oh. Another nerd news. Did you ever play with or watch the show Beyblade?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. There's apparently Paramount, why are you doing like this? Apparently a live action Beyblade movie.
No, live action? Why live action? Why does everything have to be live action now? Don't.
Like, okay. So for anyone who doesn't know what Beyblade is, it's a shonen battle anime about tops.
Yes.
About like
spinning tops.
Like basically like two people that throw out tops into this, big circular arena, and they, hit each other until one falls over. But in order to make one of them fall over, they like do like special moves and produce these avatars like dragons and bulls and like
it's like
crazy.
It's like if Yu-Gi-Oh and like just spinning tops had a baby. You get
like
Beyblade.
At least with Yu-Gi-Oh, they're in universe, they are holograms. Like these cards have hologram avatars that like do stuff. The show, at least like the more recent show from like 2011 or whatever, didn't like specify if any of this is like actually happening, or if the tops like actually have like spirits living inside of them, or if it's just like
pretty sure they do. Like they're real Dragoon, Storm, and all those. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are all like they're real monsters or something. So like they possess the tops or something like that. I don't even know.
But why do these tops react to you saying like, how do you, does it just like know these moves inherently and you have to like unlock them to, or does it learn with you? Does it like, how does it it's a top.
It's a top. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like it's classic anime randomness. Just it's the monsters are real because anime.
But I feel like this can't be done in live action.
No,
this concept is too stupid to be done.
Like,
it works for an anime, but live action.
That's what I'm saying. But again, they're trying to make everything live action. First of all, the popularity for Beyblade is like Beyblade was in like 2003. Beyblade was huge. Beyblade has not been big since. Like, I would be surprised if anyone even knows what like if I ask people, I'd be like, you guys know what Beyblade? I'd be surprised if anyone like
I said, there was a like revival show when I was in 6th grade, like 2008, maybe 2010 at the latest. So like, and it like that show lasted like a decent while, but since 2011, 2012, I haven't seen kids with Beyblades around. I don't
think I mean, granted, I haven't walked down like the toy aisle in a solid like 5 to 10 years, but like I doubt they have Beyblades just like at the store.
I mean, there might be a new show out it feels like one of those shows like Digimon where they're just like always a new series that like only some of them get popular, maybe.
But even with Digimon, at least over here, like Digimon is like dead. Like
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they might have a show running, but like, come on, like it's probably
Yeah.
running at like 4:30 a.m. or something. Like, you know
Mm,
what I mean? Like only on Sundays at 4 a.m. and like,
hmm
but I don't know. I mean, this first of all, how have we not learned our live action adaptation? We just did this like 10 times and it has not worked like any of the
Correct.
times. So like, why are we still doing this?
But
I don't know, but it's like, yeah, Beyblade's gonna be the one to break the curse. Come on, man. Like,
mhm.
if we couldn't do live action Death Note or Cowboy Bebop or like anime that actually kind of makes sense in real life,
But Pokemon worked.
I mean,
Like they made Detective Pikachu work, so it can be done.
yeah, but like even I can argue like it kind of worked, but also kind of didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't bad, but it was not like, oh, this is a great Pokemon. Like it was kind of like, oh, there's
Right.
Pokemon in this, cool.
Mm,
But like again, that's like one of the better examples because for the most part, you get,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
wait,
It's
so is this
yeah.
is this a Netflix show or is it a movie or
I think Paramount said movie.
okay? Oh no, Paramount Plus. Okay, okay, it's one of these, but I don't know. It's a no from me.
Yes, especially after something that should translate very well, Cowboy Bebop
yeah,
was
massively failed.
ugh.
Like, like
like
completely face planted while trying to get off the ground.
like it in a way, maybe it's to their advantage that Beyblade isn't as popular anymore because there won't be like as strong of a reaction, whereas Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah,
even if Cowboy Bebop literally was shot for shot the same show, people would still hate it.
yeah.
Mostly because it didn't try to do anything new, but still it just wasn't written well. like, um, but that's because Cowboy Bebop is one of the most beloved anime of all time.
Right, it has such a big
So
fan base. But and I understand your point, but at the same time, I feel like when something doesn't have a blood fan base, like the premise has to be enticing. And
mm,
I gotta be real with you. I don't think magical tops is gonna sway anybody. Like, come on, man. Like on paper, Beyblade is too stupid. Like, if you watch the show, you might be able to get it, but like on paper, this is dumb. Like, this
it
is dumb.
it was very entertaining for a 10-year-old me to watch Saturday
Yes.
morning.
Yes, but like making a live action for probably adult show
Mm,
is not going to work at all. I don't think so.
maybe it'll be cast really well. Who knows?
I mean,
No, that didn't
we'll
save
see, I
Cowboy
guess, but
Bebop.
I
It's not
mean,
saving this.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Beyblade, live action Beyblade. That just sounds like a train wreck.
it does. I
Like
kind
I
of
haven't
hope
had an idea that bad since live action Powerpuff.
at least
Like
they knew better than to like actually release that thing.
no.
Still might be
Okay,
coming, but like, yeah,
is that still in like that just get canned? Is that over? Is
it's
that still
still in production.
okay, good. Just
So
can it. It's over. That's not gonna work. That's a terrible idea. Like that is a horrible like one of the most like utilizing animation shows ever, where these little
mhm,
girls who have all the superpowers of like Superman and
mhm.
all the like violence and all the stuff, not to mention a rogues gallery of literal colorful characters.
Yep.
Oh yeah, let's do that in live action, bro.
Not just live action, it's a continuation of the original show set 15 years in the future where where they're, you know,
Adults for
adults
some
now
reason,
who are
not
like,
superheroes or something.
but they
So bad.
like
It's so
who thought
bad.
this was a good idea?
Like that could have been like all time worst show ever. Like
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah, having like, you know, what a like the script for the pilot, we're not sure if it was like if this is real, but it seems dumb enough that it could be real. The script for the pilot was leaked, and the entire pilot was nothing but essentially like what adults think millennial lingo is, or they're talking about how like people are like, don't do that or you'll get canceled, like just a bunch of like, saying stuff is cringe, like just
Oh wow, this is really lit, guys. Like,
no, for real,
oh,
like that type of thing.
oh no. Now I
Like,
kind of want it just to
I want to see
die.
this so badly.
I kind of need this now. This sounds like the worst thing ever created, and I kind of want to see it now. Oh man, who signs off on these ideas? I swear, somebody's just in their room writing stuff down, and like they're contractually obligated to make it.
Mhm.
Like no one actually was like, "Yes, this is a good idea." Like, there's no way. I don't believe it.
I
Don't believe
if
it.
it ever comes out, maybe it'll be better than the Beyblade movie.
I don't know. If I had to put money on it, my money's on Beyblade, and that's saying a lot. Like that is saying, oh, I never thought I'd say that, but I believe a live action Beyblade would do better than live action Powerpuff Girls.
Mhm.
Straight up.
Yep. Yeah. So, believe it or not, this Friday, the Batman comes out.
Woo!
Hype check. How are you feeling about it at this moment?
Well, I'm probably not gonna be able to see it this weekend because I have to go out of town, but I'll probably see it like Monday or something. So like someone asked me about it earlier this week, and like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at like a 6. Like I'm not really excited, but like it's a Batman movie. It could be awesome.
Could
Yeah,
be.
Batman. So
Could
like,
be.
yeah. Like I'm for it.
Getting good
Sure, why not?
reviews, so that's something.
Yeah, like I mean, again, like I feel like I'm not expecting the best thing ever and to like lose my mind and oh, this is amazing. I'm expecting to go in and not hate it, which is like,
Yes.
I feel like that's not too high of a bar. So I feel like as long as I don't hate it leaving, I'll be fine with it.
Yeah. I'm definitely not going into this movie expecting the greatest comic book movie of all time. Like, I think that's even the greatest Batman movie of all time, I think is too much. It's too much going into anything.
No way.
So yeah, I'm expecting, I'm like 6, maybe 7. I'll probably be at a 7 like Friday night because I'm seeing it Saturday morning. Probably like 24 hours before I see it, I'll probably like around a 7, or like excited. I'm gonna see it because it's Batman, but like there's room to impress. There's room to be disappointed. So like either way, it doesn't like I'm sure it's gonna be at least decent. Have a fun time watching Batman do stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, again, not expecting the world, but not expecting nothing either. Like, I think it'll be good. And we'll see. I like Riddler. I think Riddler is a good villain choice. Because again, I feel like Riddler can be a really good villain if used correctly, especially for a starting out Batman. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see if they do
I
less
don't
of the
necessarily
detective.
love the whole like Zodiac killer vibe they're going for Riddler, but I'm sure it'll
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of it to like
yeah.
decide, but I kind of agree. I'm a little like I like the more like chauvinistic riddle me this, like you know what I mean. I kind of like the more not like maybe not so much not all the way to Jim Carrey necessarily, but kind of more kind of like how they did in the animated series where he's still kind of like a showman, but still an intellectual kind of.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, it's coming out this weekend. I am excited. I'm gonna see it. Not expecting the world, but it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, hopefully review it next week. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to our final segment, another round of roll call.
Oh.
A little game we like to play just to test our random nerd knowledge. So I have 2 topics. You have 2 topics.
I do.
Hit me.
Okay, this one's gonna be interesting. So I know last time we did like, superhero day jobs. This one's a little easier, but the longer we go, the harder it gets.
Okay.
So I picked a pretty big number. Let's see. Can you get 15 alliterative aliases for characters?
Oh, that's
Because
good.
I know, because they love to do this with certain characters. So again, for those of you at home who don't know, alliterative means two words that basically start with the same sound, not necessarily the same letter. So for example, a Peter Parker, I know you're going to say that.
That was my example too.
So yeah. Exactly. So any kind of name that goes with that. And I will say, secret identities only. So you don't get to use like certain things, like Blue Beetle does not count.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. We have superheroes and villains. Okay.
Yeah. Super. Any comic book character, as long as it's not the name of like their, I guess, super powered version, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. There's no rhyme or reason to the order of this, so I'm just gonna,
just whoever you got, just go for it.
We have Matt Murdock, Granny Goodness, Lex Luthor,
good one.
Cassandra Cain, Kate Kane.
Yep.
John Johns, Guy Gardner. Give me a second.
It's okay. The longer you go, the harder it gets. I did this in my head. It took after about 10, it started getting difficult.
Okay. Bruce Banner.
There's one.
Stephen Strange.
There it is.
Riri will no, that's W. Never mind. Sorry. Clark Kent, Connor Kent.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones.
Yep.
Does that count? That's her like.
That's her name. I count that. I'll count that. Okay. I'll count that one.
Okay. Okay.
Think about sidekicks. It helps.
Oh, Bucky Barnes.
There you go.
Reed Richards.
Okay.
I'm at 13, maybe 14.
14. I got 14.
Okay, I use just one more. Oh, no. Wait. Wally West.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good one. Yeah. No, that was one of the ones I was like sidekicks. I was like that's a good one. Miles Morales was the big one for me.
For some, like I thought about him for a second, but like in my head, his last name started with an O for some reason. So Miles Morales, like that's what came to my mind. It's like I'm not gonna say him.
No, that's terrible. That'll never work. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot of good ones that are like really cool to just like go through and just kind of like, just go through. And you're just like, oh, this is because like it's a thing that happens. It's just a thing because they're catchy, they're easy names to say, and a lot of comic books just do them because why not? And it's cool because like it's fun and like it's interesting because anytime I see someone in real life that has one, I kind of just like that sounds like a superhero name,
Yeah.
like like one of my best friends' name is Jacob Johnson, and it's so funny because I always think of he's a superhero because that sounds like a superhero name. Because it's so like it looks like it should be on a comic strip somewhere. Like it's so funny. But, yeah.
The immovable
Also,
Jake Johnson.
yeah, like like it's just like yeah, like but no, there's so many good ones and like yeah, I wanted to go. I was trying to see how far I go because I think I got to like 17 or 18, and I was like getting really stuck. And I was trying to go through everyone I could think of and like all the. But I will say, Granny Goodness, I did not expect that. That was a good one. I didn't. I would never have thought of that. But yeah, there was.
Are there any like other big ones that I missed?
You said both of the cans. I was thinking Wally West, Miles Morales. Uh, there's one. I think there was one. I don't remember. Who was it? I think it was. Oh, Scott Summers. That was the one I was thinking of too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott Summers.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Billy Batson.
Yeah.
Billy Batson. Yeah.
Yeah. Billy Batson. Yeah. That's Wade
One
Wilson.
of the first.
I think that's probably about it. There's so many.
Yeah.
Like I know there's a list on Wikipedia or something somewhere that it's so entertaining just to go through it. You just love it. I'm glad you like that one.
Okay. I think you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
So we talked about it briefly last episode, and immediately after I did in fact watch the Code Ink Kids Next Door Operation Zero movie.
Yes.
It holds up. So
oh man.
I want you to list as many Kids Next Door villains as you can name.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Okay. So there's Mr. Boss, there's Sticky Beard the Pirate, Night Brace, I got Father, obviously, the Delightful Children. What is the lunch lady's name? Oh my gosh, she has some stupid name.
She does.
Like, isn't it like Mama Stuffin or something like that? Mama Stuffin, I think.
You're close.
Right?
You're close.
Something like that. I don't know. It's like
not Mama Stuffin.
Mama Stuffin? Grandma Stuffin?
Yes, Grandma Stuffin.
Grandma McStuffin. That's right. There was a song, I think.
Grandma Stuffin.
Grandma Stuffin? Okay, something ridiculous. She has like mutant food. That was crazy. Okay. I know there's a cat lady. I cannot remember the cat lady's name.
No idea. She is a
cat lady. The cat lady.
Not just cat lady. She is a cat lady.
Crazy cat lady.
Yes, she is. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Crazy. Okay, that's great.
Crazy old cat lady, but I'll get
crazy old cat. Okay. I guess. Yeah, Cree. That's her name. Yeah, that's the older number 5 older sister, and then Chad. There's number 274, but then they call him Chad. It's funny because I like 274 is one of my favorite numbers because of that, because he was the cool one. It's so stupid because I'm like, where did I get that number from? I'm like, oh, childhood. There's some more. There's some good ones. There's some good ones in this show. Like there's some. Oh, what is the guy? Hold on. Oh, this is. I gotta think about this. This is a deep memory. I gotta like pull this one out. It's. What does it get? I don't remember. I haven't seen this show in so long. But I love this show. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think. I don't think I can think of any other one. I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Go.
I think there's one episode. Yeah, there's one episode where Chad's parents are villains. And I think they're like Mighty. That's Timmy Turner. No. I think it's Super Mom and something Destructo Dad or something like that. Something like that.
Sounds very familiar. They're not on this list I have here, but
there is an episode, there's an episode because it's Chad's birthday party and his parents like, or no, that's before that. That's a different episode, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, that's a different episode. But it's like, yeah, his parents like destroy every kid in like the whole world or something. Like, now you can be number one. It's like, I don't want to be number one. He's number one. He's like in like an icicle or something. Like that show was amazing. I need to see that show again. That show was amazing. The world building in that show is so much better than it needs to be.
Agreed.
It's so like it's
They have
so
a moon base. It's crazy.
I know, but it's so cool though. It's like, oh yeah, we have like all these secret underwater base and all these like, oh my gosh, it's so. Oh yeah, that was good though. But yeah, that was
the
good.
notable ones you missed were Mr. Fizz.
Oh
Count
yeah,
Spankula.
that's who I was thinking of. I knew it was like a soda because soda's like illegal. I knew there was a soda.
Yes.
Okay. So like two
Count
guys.
Spankula, Ice Cream Men.
How did I forget Count Spankula? Looks like the main the dude's such a meme.
The Dodgeball Wizard.
I straight up don't know. I don't remember that one.
Cuppa Joe is a fun one.
Oh, is that the coffee guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for not seeing it in a while, he did pretty good.
Yeah. That was pretty okay. That was a good one. I like that. That tapped into my inner.
The Toilinator.
He's like the box ghost for their show. That's right. I do. How did I forget Toilinator? Dude.
I don't know.
Gosh, you like the. Such a great villain. Oh my gosh. The Toilinator. Dang it, I forgot the Toilinator. Oh man. Such a great show.
My turn.
Okay, your turn. Okay. Okay, this one was interesting. I don't know if I've done this one before or not. I feel like I have, but I don't know. We've been doing it for a while. But okay. Have I ever had you list random regular show just craziness? You know, halfway through every episode, something gets ridiculous. That makes no sense.
Okay.
Any episode, just go for it.
There's one episode where Skips every like 1,000 years or something has to like take on the like these like cosmic entities with these gloves.
Yes.
But he breaks his hand, so then Mordecai and Rigby have to do it.
That is correct, yes.
They play basketball with the god of basketball.
That's one of my favorite episodes. That episode's amazing.
There's one episode where they get abducted by aliens because they're too cool.
That is like, that's a top 5 regular show episode for sure.
In the first episode, they almost get sucked into a black hole because they keep tying paper scissors. First episode.
No.
The episode that got me hooked on the show was the one where they turned down being turned into toys, so the manufacturers like have the geese that run for different episode come in and like merge with this cassowary, and then anime happens.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Maybe I haven't. I don't know. There's a lot of episodes.
Like,
I know
the geese. Like,
I know the geese. The geese are elite, but like,
the ducklings come back and like they all get giant robots and like go into space and like it escalates from there.
No, I have not seen. I need to catch up on this. I have no idea what's going on. It's so great.
Regular show was so genius with its advertising, because like if you didn't know anything about the show, you would think it is the most boring, just like nonsensical show you could watch, because like
nothing.
The trailer for what I just described, like the little like commercials for it was literally Mordecai and Rigby just like playing with action figures, and one of the action figures breaks, and he's like, "Oh, these things are garbage." Regular show is anything but. Like they're playing with action figures.
That's it.
2 minutes after that happens, giant robots.
What's the thing? It's like for those that don't know, it's like, oh, this is a stupid show. They're just sitting around doing nothing. It's like for those who know, it's like, oh yes, this is the beginning of the great. Like,
there's one episode where they really, really want a chocolate cake, but then what happens? Is it like
no,
what happens? Like
no,
something.
okay. They really want a chocolate cake, and they find out the only way to get a cake is if it's somebody's birthday. So they find out it's Skip's birthday. So they want to have Skip. I know I'm doing it for you, but I don't care at this point. So they want to have Skip's. They want to have Skip's birthday party just so they can have the cake. So they like plan to tell everyone we're gonna have a surprise party. Oh, but it's a surprise. Don't tell Skip it's a surprise because Skip doesn't want a birthday party. So they plan a party anyway. They make it a surprise party. Of course, Skips doesn't show up because apparently to keep his immortality, by the way, Skips is immortal for those who didn't know. To keep his immortality, every year on his birthday, Skips has to do some magical ritual to please the baby gods. I think this is their first episode.
Baby god, that's it. Okay, and it was like some like entity.
There's like
whatever,
five. They're like the Guardians from the Green Lantern Corps, but they're just giant floating babies.
Right.
And it's so weird. And he has to do a ritual, and they interrupt the ritual. And because of this, Reggie, the guy who comes from space in a pickup truck, which I can help it, but it's hilarious, tells them that he's broken his oath. And because of that, he has to die because his immortality is therefore null and void. So in order to keep him alive and for Skip to not die, also on his birthday, Mordecai and Rigby convince the babies to take the cake in exchange for sparing Skip's life. Therefore, the babies don't even eat it. They lather themselves in the chocolate and just freak out about it, to which Mordecai and Rigby hate because they get to eat it. Anyway, all that to say, they get back to the party. Skips doesn't die, and Benson does bring another cake, which is great.
But it's a yellow cake with chocolate icing.
And that's how it ends. He's just like, yes, we get a cake. Ah, vanilla. And that's how the episode ends. But it's so funny because like it is like the most unreal. How did we get here? But it's so great because it's just they take the dumbest, like I swear they have two different groups. They have, okay, you guys come up with a very simple premise. You guys come up with the most ridiculous thing you can. And then we're just gonna make that an episode. I don't care what it takes. And that's what happens. And it's great because you just go from I want a chocolate cake to okay, we need to make sure these overlords of immortality don't kill Skips. Because he didn't do some magical ritual. And like
there's one where Rigby works for a company that only makes you lift with your back. If you don't lift with your back, you like die or something. It's like a moving company where he has to lift with his back.
Who's the Defcon Joe episodes? Oh my gosh, forgot about that. Some good ones.
Or Benson like decides to not be angry, but it like builds up and he like explodes at the end.
He's like almost destroys the universe. Oh, there's the one where it's like Benson goes to his like neighbor's party or something, but he's like blacked out the whole time. So Mordecai and Rigby like make him cool. That's honestly one of the better episodes. Oh man. Yeah,
it's a very good show.
If you can't tell, we enjoy this show because it's quality. It is quality. But man, have you seen Close Enough?
I haven't got around to it. It's same like basic concept.
Yes, but like it's for adults, but it's still so funny. Like if you don't think it's awesome, you'll like it. You'll like it. Okay. Me and my brother were on the floor.
Okay. My second one for you actually has a very similar concept. How many Fairly Odd Parents wishes can you name?
Oh, this is good. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of these. Okay, so there's wish the parents were had superpowers. Wish the Crimson Chin was real. Wish that Timmy was in the Crimson Chin. Wish the whole world had superheroes and supervillains. Wish for wish that everyone was the same and he becomes like a gray blob. Everyone's a gray blob. Wish for I think popular or something like that. The one where he gets really popular and like tricksy and everyone likes him, but then he betrays his real friends. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. I guess. Okay, I know there's a billion. Hold on. How am I blanking? This is not good. I've seen a million of these episodes. How am I blanking on this show? I know so many of these. Hold on. Oh, duh. Every day was Christmas. That was a good one. Wish that kids ruled the world. So like, he was the president and all that stuff.
That was like a full-on like hour
special. Yeah, that was a movie, but still. Oh yeah, Channel Chasers, which he was in TV. That was a good one. That's a cool.
That's the best episode. That's the best one.
So good. Wished he was super tall to be a basketball player. Forget about that. Was a good one. Wish that everything he said was the truth, which was crazy. That got out of hand. Wish for I already said everyday Christmas. Especially when I go back and watch the show now, because I can't remember everything. I have. I think. No, wait. What was the wish in that episode? All I remember is being weird.
Which episode?
I'm thinking of the Miss Dimmesdale beauty pageant, and then his dad somehow wins. But I don't remember what the wish was.
I don't remember either.
I just remember it being weird.
And
he was like, it's like his mom's like, my swimsuit still fits. And then his dad's like, so does mine. It's like, no. And then Dinklebird, hey, looking good, Turner. Dinklebird. Dude, freaking Dinklebird the best. Yeah. But oh man, okay, hold on. There's gotta be I can get at least one more.
Okay.
Maybe I can't. Oh my god. How am I not? Oh, wish to go back in time to see why Crocker was so bitter. That was a good one. And they had Disco Jordan, which was lit. Disco with myself. Outrageous. So extra. Trying to think. I don't think I've seen any of the newer ones, honestly.
Don't bother.
Wait, did he? Wait. Oh yeah, he wished that Cosmo would have a baby. That's right.
Yes. Yep.
I forgot about that. That
one of the ones I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of irresponsible when you think about it. Like, really,
You're
Cosmo?
Right.
Like, that's a terrible idea.
Well, for the record, he didn't know that Cosmo would have the baby. He just knew that.
That is true. That's
true. He wanted them to have a baby.
That's true. I know Cosmo was the one who got pregnant.
Seahorses.
Makes sense.
Sure.
There, baby. But yeah, any other ones?
In my head, wish that boys and girls were separate. Like a brick wall was around the entire world, and they had like their own separate hemispheres.
Really? Good gracious.
Yeah. My absolute least favorite wish in the entire show. It was one where he wishes that nobody needed to sleep. The wish was, I wish no one needed to sleep. Yet, the reason that wish went out of control is that everyone couldn't sleep, but they still were super tired and had bags under their eyes. So everyone was just like essentially couldn't move because they were so tired, but they couldn't sleep. Even though the wish was they didn't need to sleep.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
No. And like I personally think a better solution would be essentially, the whole world doesn't need to sleep. So like some supervillain somewhere has, all the time in the world to like concoct this crazy plan. And because he doesn't need to sleep, he can just spend all day and night making the machine or doing whatever, and then basically try to conquer the world with all this time. So then he he makes that wish again, and that guy goes to sleep. I think that could be a much better premise than just people
Yeah, I mean that's
actually do but can't. That's just a little weird.
Yeah, that doesn't make especially, and there are a lot of wishes like that, like a lot of wishes where it's like the wording doesn't really match what actually happens, which kind of makes sense if it's like a monkey paw, but it's not really. So like,
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, because I feel like the rules are very subjective, which is weird. Because it's like, oh, you can't wish for this. Like, well, doesn't that also include this? But like, you can't wish for.
Oh, the one where he wishes he was a girl. That was a fun one.
Oh yeah, that did happen. There's one. The one he wished that him and Trixie were the only two people on the planet. That was
correct.
And then Mark Chang shows up and steals his which was so funny. I was like, no, this man, like, come on. He's like, okay, fine. He was like, be more specific. He said, okay, I want me and Trixie, the only people on Earth besides my favorite job. I'm like, thank you. That was a smart wish that you finally learned, because then you end up Cosmo and Wander, who knows where, and then no. If I had fairies, though, that would be crazy. Like, you could make some very specific. Like, I feel like as long as you're specific with your wishes, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just like collectively walk, as long as you talk around the rules. I always did like the ones with Norm, though, because Norm would always make it like somehow. That was great.
Yep.
But that was a good one. That was a good one. That had to unlock the.
Unplanned, but it was funny that those two had like yours and mine had like very similar concepts.
Right.
Like, what about this episode makes things go bad?
Right. What do we have to fix in 11 minutes? Like, how does it all go wrong? It all went wrong. No, it's like I love when shows do that, though. Just like Face and Forever and all those shows, just like, all right, here we go.
But yeah, I highly recommend at some point you watch the episode I talked about called Brilliant Century Duck Crisis Special.
That's what it's called. It's so anime.
It's like it's a reference to like early 70s anime that were translated to English that like the title didn't quite make sense, but they didn't like care enough to really translate it.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to make
Century Duck Crisis Special.
Brilliant Century Duck Crisis Special. All right. I might watch it right now, to be honest, and put it on the TV. What
season was it? Oh, season 6, episode 24.
How many episodes does our regular show have?
Pretty good amount.
All right,
go on. 8 seasons, maybe.
8 seasons. Wow.
Wait, let's see. Went from 2010 to 2017.
Wow. Yeah, I guess 8 seasons sounds about right. I mean, well deserved though. That show's
261 episodes.
Damn, really?
Yep. Good for them.
Go them. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss before we sign off?
I think we're good. Just looking forward to Batman this weekend and then going from there.
Yep, sure are. Moon Knight's later this month. That's gonna be good. Yeah, it's just there was a new trailer for Morbius. It looks,
like Morbius.
You might see it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay. So with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, everyone.